Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're looking at some great material you shared on the mental game in golf.
That's right, specifically from Henrik Jentsch over at Golf Academy 360 Degrees.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. And our goal here really is to pull out the key insights on how top golfers think, beyond just the mechanics of the swing.
We want to give you some practical mental tools, things you can hopefully use pretty much straight away, whatever your level.
Because the core idea from Jentsch seems to be that golf is won or lost, well, mostly in the head.
Exactly. He makes a strong case that so many mistakes out there aren't really about poor swings or lack of talent. It's more a lack of awareness, a lapse in the mental process.
Okay, let's dig into that. He says golf is a game of decisions, not just inches. I like that, Frank.
It really shifts your perspective, doesn't it?
It does.
And he uses that analogy golf as physical chess. It really clicks.
How so? Explain that a bit.
Well, he suggests amateurs often play, move by move, reacting to the last shot, just trying to get the next one somewhere decent.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
But pros, they're thinking ahead. Maybe 2, 3 shots. What approach does this tee shot leave me? Where do I want to be for the shot after that?
And the elite players.
They're playing a different game almost. Thinking even further ahead, considering the whole round, how this hole fits the strategy, potential trouble spots maybe 2 holes away. It's much more strategic depth.
Right. So for our listener wanting to, get up to speed quickly but properly,
Yeah.
understanding this strategic layer, seeing the course as a puzzle,
Yeah.
that's a big first step.
It absolutely is. It's not just swing thoughts. It's like mental mapping of the course.
And this ties into his ideas on backward visualization and
Yeah.
course management.
Precisely. The backward visualization technique is really interesting. He suggests for every hole, you start by picturing the green and work your way backward.
Backwards, from the green to the tee. How does that work? What are you asking yourself?
Okay, so standing on the tee, you picture the green first.
Mhm.
Where's the flag? That tells you the best side to approach from. Then, crucially, where's the best place to miss? Because you will miss sometimes. Avoid the big number.
Smart. What else?
Identify the danger. Bunkers, water, thick, rough, nasty slopes. Know where not to go.
Okay.
Then, considering the pin, the miss zone, the danger, what's the ideal angle to come into that green?
The angle.
Exactly. And then, working all the way back, what club off the tee, what shot shape gives you the best chance of leaving yourself that ideal angle for your approach.
Wow, okay. That's way more involved than just grip it and rip it.
Definitely more intentional.
But this course management thing,
Yeah.
it doesn't just mean playing safe all the time, does it? Like always laying up short.
No, not at all. Jentsch is clear. Smart management is about playing intelligently, not timidly.
So what goes into playing intelligently, according to him?
It's a mix. First, knowing your own game, honestly. Strengths, weaknesses, what shots can you actually pull off under pressure?
Okay. Self-awareness.
Then, understanding the course design. What did the architect want you to do? Where are the bailout areas? Where's the trouble?
Respecting the design.
And respecting the conditions. Wind, slope, how firm the ground is, you can't ignore those. And finally, it's about choosing the highest percentage shot for you in that situation, not necessarily the hero shot.
He uses Tiger Woods as an example of this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He points to Tiger's mastery of, taking what the course gave him, not forcing things, patience.
That strategic brilliance was maybe even more important than his power sometimes.
That's the argument Jentsch makes. That discipline, those smart decisions, that's the model. Now, another huge area he talks about is eliminating mental errors.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there. The instant regret after picking a club or a target.
And Jentsch calls these inexcusable, which sounds a bit harsh, maybe.
A little, yeah. What? Inexcusable.
Because unlike, say, a sudden gust of wind affecting your ball flight or just a purely physical mishit,
Right.
you generally have time between shots in golf. Time to think, assess, consider the options properly.
That's a fair point. You're not making split-second reactions most of the time.
Exactly. So he distinguishes physical mistakes they happen. It's golf from mental ones.
And what are some classic mental errors he flags?
Things like grabbing the wrong club even when you know the yardage, or aiming right at a tucked pin when there's loads of safe green available.
The classic sucker pin.
Yep. Or completely ignoring a strong crosswind. Or maybe the biggest one, letting one bad shot totally derail your thinking for the next shot.
That negative spiral. Yeah.
Those are the ones where we have more control, where better thinking could have prevented the error.
And highlighting those specific things. Wrong club, bad target, ignoring wind. That's probably where listeners can immediately see, yeah, I do that sometimes. Avoidable mistakes.
Precisely. And the way to combat these, Jentsch says, is through better preparation and awareness. That's where mental toughness really starts.
Even before the round begins.
Yes, the prep work is key.
So what does good pre-round mental prep look like for him?
It's about asking yourself some basic questions. Have you actually, studied the course, looked at the scorecard, the yardage book,
Knowing what's coming up.
and understanding your own game, your typical misses, your reliable shots, and having at least a basic game plan for each hole. Not rigid, but a general strategy.
Okay, so you arrive prepared. What about on the course? It's not just about routines.
No, he stresses staying aware. He calls it strategic awareness. It's more active than just a routine.
Strategic awareness, what does that involve?
It means knowing where you stand your score, the match situation, knowing the conditions, as we said, and understanding what this specific shot right now actually demands.
So it's assessing risk and reward in the moment.
Exactly. It's thinking, is this the right shot for this situation? Not just hitting the shot you always hit from that distance. It's playing the situation, not just the yardage.
That makes sense. He also talks about something pretty universal. Nerves. Pressure.
Oh, yeah. Everyone feels it, right? Even the top pros.
Absolutely. How does he suggest dealing with it?
Well, first, acknowledge it's normal, but then try to reframe it. See nerves not just as anxiety, but as energy,
Yes.
adrenaline, and view pressure not as a threat, but as information. It tells you, this moment is important, pay attention.
So use it. Don't fight it.
Kind of. He suggests you can actually train yourself to channel that nervous energy into sharper focus, to use the pressure to concentrate better.
That's quite empowering, isn't it?
Right.
Not about eliminating nerves, but harnessing them.
Exactly. It's a skill you can develop. Now, shifting gears slightly, let's talk short game, a huge area for amateurs.
Definitely where strokes disappear. What's Jentsch's mental angle on putting and chipping?
It's really about discipline and smart choices, maybe even more than perfect technique.
Okay.
His core advice is super practical. Focus number 1, eliminate 3 putts, just get rid of them.
Easier said than done, but okay, the goal is clear.
And focus number 2, get good at getting up and down from simple spots around the green. Not miracle bunker shots, just the routine chips and pitches.
Oh, consistency over magic.
Totally. And making the right choice of shot. Do you putt it? Chip it low, loft it, pick the highest percentage shot for your skill level, and practice the basics of that shot.
And he thinks this disciplined approach, just focusing on those two things, can make a big difference.
Huge. He actually estimates that just cutting out 3 putts and getting reasonably good at scrambling from, say, just off the green, that alone could save the average golfer maybe 4 or 5 strokes around.
4 or 5 strokes, just from that.
That's his assessment. Think about that over a season. It adds up massively. It's about managing the scoring zone effectively.
It really highlights how those small mental decisions and short game discipline compound. He also gets a bit philosophical, doesn't he? Comparing golf to life.
He does. It's quite thought-provoking, actually. He observes how golf, with all its good breaks and bad bounces, its streaks and slumps,
Yeah.
it really mirrors life's ups and downs. You have triumphs, you have setbacks. Sometimes you feel totally in control. Other times, not so much.
True enough.
But his point is, in golf and in life, it's often the quality of your decisions, how you respond to whatever happens, that determines the outcome.
And that ties into his idea of mental strength.
Exactly. He defines mental strength not as being fearless or never feeling doubt.
Yeah.
No. It's about having the ability to act clearly, to make good decisions, despite feeling the fear or the doubt or the pressure.
Acting effectively even when uncomfortable.
That's it. It's acknowledging the feelings but not being paralyzed by them, still executing your plan.
So, bringing this all together, what's the core message for someone listening who genuinely wants to improve their golf?
I think Jentsch really boils it down. You don't need to be the strongest or have the most technically perfect swing.
Right.
What you do need is to think smarter, prepare better, and commit more decisively to your shots.
So, for you listening, if improvement is the goal, Jentsch is saying loud and clear, start with your head, start with the mental approach.
Absolutely. To just nail down that central message from Jentsch for everyone listening, it's the huge, undeniable impact of the mental game. Your strategic thinking, shot to shot, your course management, hole to hole, and building that mental discipline. That's what really separates consistent performers from, well, everyone else.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with, something to mull over, inspired by Jentsch's perspective.
Go on.
Consider how that whole process of strategic decision-making in golf, the planning, assessing risk, staying resilient. How could you maybe apply that same thinking to other challenging parts of your life?
Interesting parallel.
Yeah, maybe your next big project at work or any situation demanding careful thought and mental toughness. Try approaching it with that same focus on the mental game plan, just like you might now approach your next round.
Food for thought indeed.
Definitely. Well, thanks everyone for diving deep into the mental side of golf with us today.